Hello there. So we've been varnishing this all weekend. So it's had, I think this has had 6 coats of varnish on it now, and enough to make it so you can't feel this ridge anymore. It's one lovely piece of wood. The varnish is still a bit, grippy, and it's not tacky, but it's got that sort of softness to it, and it does take a few weeks, really, I've noticed, for the varnish to really harden up, but it's gone really well and I'm really happy with it. So we have now got, let's try and get you a good old angle of that. We've got a good old boom. We've got a few things to do now, and the first thing is to get these screws out. When we do that, we'll obviously see, let's do it now. Here's my screwdriver. See, I might be able to do this one-handed. Oh, there we go. When we do this, you'll see that there's a, they'll leave a little hole. That needs a little bit of, well, the state this is in now, you could just get a knife and, just very carefully get that off. It's hard to do it one-handed. Let me do it with this. There we go. So it's not the ideal tool. Maybe a little sharp chisel would be better, but we just need to get that flush, so whatever's going into that hole will be something like, could be a track. I'm not sure. Oh no, this is the wrong side, so it might, well, actually it might be nothing going in this hole. But there we go. So that's nice and flush. And what we'll do, we'll drop a little bit of varnish in there. We'll do the other side. There we go. Now, there's loads of epoxy over this as well. Still a little bit there, isn't there? A lot. The track's got quite a bit of give in it anyway, but there we go. That's right. That's better. There we go. Yeah, that's much better. There we go. You can see that's lined up there, look, and you can see the old holes that were filled up there. So what we're going to do with the track now is just drill those little holes out and get the screws in. So at the back here, what we have is this little pulley, which we're going to put right at the back here, and that goes there. This then goes up quite close to the pulley. The pulley, it's a block, isn't it? I must call it a block, like that. So it goes through quite nicely like that, and then that screws in. The slider obviously slides in and out here like this, and then what we're going to do is the cleat, I may replace this V cleat, although it is quite good, that V cleat, to be honest with you. Maybe I should leave it. But we just need to arrange how this line goes down the side here, because it's a little bit stiff to pull. But once we've done that, I think we'll be fine. Instead of... Right, I've got stuff everywhere. There we go. Now, instead of dipping the screw, we can just get a little bit around the screw like that. That'd be fine. I like that. It just controls it a little bit better. And I think these screws are the right ones. If anything, they look a little bit big, don't they? But there we go. Right. So I'm actually going to put the first one in. Go for the last one. Oh, it's amazing how little things actually need to be. I'm a big believer of over-engineering everything. Oh, that one's actually threaded a little. There we go. You can see, because this does have a lot of force on it, this does. And it is amazing that these three things hold it together, but there we go. Okay. Now this is really awkward actually to get these through, and I forgot that I probably needed to put that through before I put the varnish on, but there we go, it's fixed. And you can see that these are the biggest screw heads I can actually get through here. There we go. Actually, I've realised if you put the screw on the top here, then it's just going to clamp this down too much. And also, there's obviously a reason why the holes are smaller underneath and bigger on the top, because that's the screw head needs to get through there. But look, that's worked brilliantly. Very pleased with that. Now we're going to go get this just put up so we can see it a bit better, and we're going to talk about where we're going to put this cleat and fair lead. So the clue of the sail fits onto this, and when you want it tight, you pull it tight there. When you want to loosen it off, you let it run all the way to the end. I'll tell you what we have forgotten, the stopper bit that goes on the end. The reason I'm using the manual screwdrivers, I just want to get a nice good feel for everything. Don't want to over tighten or thread anything. These sorts of screwdrivers can be brilliant, but you don't want to. You can easily thread things on here. So there you go. That's now not going to go out of there. That'll go there, and then you just, when you want to tighten it, loosen it off, you loosen it, and normally the sail will pull itself out. The difficulty we have is tightening it, because it can get quite a lot of force on that sail. Now, we could leave it dangling. These are the options. We could just leave that dangling, but where this is in the cockpit would be a bit of a nuisance, if you ask me. So what you tend to do is have a little fair lead like this one came with, and you can see where it used to be there. Now that fair lead is there, and you can see how much friction that has just by doing that. So the first thing I've noticed is, let's just try it the other way round. Yeah, if it's that way round, it's going to be a lot nicer than if it's that way round. You obviously for that. So that was the first mistake we made before. The other thing is we could bring it a little bit further forward like that. There you go, look at that. And I think that will fit it a little bit nicer. Just keep it away from, there's a few screws here, keep it away from there. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do that and put that there. So that will be my next one. That one's a little bit not so happy, that one. There we go. Now you can see that's lovely and loose, whereas before it wasn't. So hopefully when I need to pull this sail and depower it a little bit, that'll be a bit easier. Now this was here, like this. There we go, like that. So we could just drill that out again and put the screws in there. Now I like it here because obviously you're gonna need it so it can go to there. So I think that is about happy medium. There we go. Awesome. There you go. And that is lovely. That is a big improvement. Oh, and then, yeah, I like the way that locks when you need it to. That's brilliant. So one clue done. Okay, so this is where the gooseneck fits on. And these are a little bit offset if you look. So the screws shouldn't meet. And they should fit a lot better now. I think it was that way round I've done it. Yeah. So we're going to try and not leave as much of a gap in there as before. Oh, that's a bit stiff. That never used to be that stiff. And then, yeah, it's definitely that side down, I think. Yeah, like that. Let's try it that way around. Yeah, so it's that way round. The first job will be to get the first 2 screws in. Now, let's have a look. Again, I don't think the sail, actually, this takes a hell of a lot of strain. So I'm going to use these screws for the front 2 because as you can see, there's not an awful lot more you could do. And if all else fails, I have got some slightly longer ones if I need them. In fact, here they are here. But if you look, they're almost going through. So, if you look at that, that is very close. So I think we're going to do the smaller ones in the top 2 here, and then we'll take it from there. So let's get my trusty Sharpie and let's get this done properly. There. So I'm going to do these 2 first, and then we'll worry about the other 2 in a minute. I'm going to try not to go all the way through. Get this first one in. Yeah, I think we can. I'm just going to tighten it up. And then these screws are going to be slightly longer. I think they were 3/4 inch. I don't know what that is in millimetres, to be honest. It's roughly, say, 18 millimetres, something like that. I don't even think of screws in inches and millimetres. I just in the UK, we still just buy them like that. So I just know that inch screws they look like that. There we go. A little bit of varnish coming out of that one. Ah, that's brilliant. Look at that. Wow, that's brilliant. Now, let's just check I can see daylight between there, but because this is so well fitting now, this is quite tight here. So it does work. I am worried though that that's not going to go all the way up. Well, time will tell. I want this to be able to fold up to the mast. Now, if we've got this on the mast like this, so where's the the gooseneck is on the mast, and it's like a little pintle like that. So I think because the pintle is so far out that it actually, you can get the mast up. Otherwise, you can see there, it's not going to go all the way up. But we're going to have to just worry about that when we fit it to the boat. I used to have the tack here. Well, I call this an uphaul. I'm sure on a mirror, the piece with the track at the clew of the boom or the sail is called the downhaul. This is called an uphaul on a mirror dinghy. But a lot of people call it a Cunningham. And this is designed to keep the sail here and tight. However, I've noticed now that a lot of sails aren't connected to the boom here. They're just loose, but they're connected to the mast. So this needs to actually connect up to the original tack of the sail, as you would call it. And I think if we can keep this parallel to the boom, or so this would go, let's just say this is the mast here. This would need to, in fact, let me try and show you a little bit better. Oh, I don't want to damage the thing. So there we go. Imagine that is the mast here, and we're a little bit off kilter. The trick we need to do is keeping the sail tight into the mast. So if we actually have this down here, hang on, that's it, down there, and we have this with a fair lead in here, so we can keep the sail down to the boom. We could actually even have the boom above the sail a little bit, so we could raise the boom here. But the idea would be that this line will go up here and be attached to the sail, and we're just going to leave it like that, and then there'll be another fair lead maybe here to make sure that sail is kept tight to the boom, to the mast, and then we can pull the sail down as well. I don't think we need what's called a Cunningham to do that. I think we can make do with this. The other benefit of this system is this will just be the tack of the sail again. We won't have any, it'll be one less thing to worry about if you need to get rid of the boom. And it'll be one less thing to worry about if we need to reef as well. So, you know, we're just going to click this onto the next eyelet up, and the same the other side. So we're going to leave this, and we're going to attach this to the main mast. But we're not going to do that until we actually get to the boat and we get back to the lake, I don't think. I've come back down to the clue of the boom, and we're going to get the little main sheet attachment in here now. These are 1.3 inch. I think these are 1 inch and a bit, or 1.25 inch screws. But now these are going in, I'm thinking, yeah, these are working quite nicely. Now, the last time I did this, I did it slightly off, so it wasn't all down the centre line. Now, this centre line did split. I don't know if you remember when I was doing reefing videos or trying to create that Bermudan rig for the mirror. Oh, that didn't go straight through, did it? Sometimes what you do is you're drilling... No, it didn't. You're drilling through the existing epoxy that was there, and as it gets through that, it then it then just goes through because the wood's a bit softer. So yeah, it sometimes feels like you're going through the whole blooming piece of wood, but you're not. But sorry, I was saying that these are slightly off centre, so this gaff actually split all the way down, well, about halfway down. And the reason is it has that channel inside for the sail, and that I put a lot of pressure on the line that pulled down, and it just split the wood. It was obviously split a bit. Now, obviously there's a danger of that splitting. However, it's been glued, and then the channel has been completely filled with nice runny epoxy. So that wood should be stronger than if it was, you know, existing wood, the original wood grain. So I don't think that's going to happen. There we go. That is secure, I can tell you that. Oh yes, that is good. So that's the main sheet attachment. Oh. If there's one thing that excites me about next season, it's the boom. Because I'm really hoping it gives the lugger a little bit of... just a little bit of speed, you know, in lighter winds especially, and a little bit of controllability. So there we go, that goes like that. I've flipped this round because this side of the wood where I measured from before has got this nasty damage to it. So I flipped it around, measured it, and I've got my mark here. And the first job is going to be to measure this off and cut the wood to size. So the next job is, I think we may as well keep, well, this side's probably best just to keep as the top because it's nice and flat and the original part. The bottom we need to taper because we need to sort of get that shape to the mast. And then the edges we need to then round off. We may have to cut a tickle off the tops and bottoms. I'm hoping not. So we'll go over to the actual where the mizzen mast is at the moment. We'll go and have a look, see if we can. Whoa! We'll go and see if we can measure it up. So there's the new piece of wood behind, and I've actually got this laid flat, and then I've literally made a template here, and I think probably we're going to need to maybe, you can see, look, we're going to need to make a cut all the way down, and then this bit we're probably going to have to, we could probably make another cut there, and then we're probably going to have to shape it a little bit. So we may as well do the whole thing and make this look like the foot. So what I've done, I've started to curve off these edges a little bit as well, so they fit nice and tight. And I'll take that down to the boatyard tomorrow, and we'll just do a little fitting with it, I think. And then probably what I need to do, oh God, the state of me, I'm in my sort of normal day clothes as well. I thought this would be a 5-minute job, and it isn't. Oh, I've got sawdust in my eyes, good grief. But I think what we'll do, take it down to the boat, hopefully tomorrow or Friday, and we'll get a little template made of that hole, just so we can, just do a better job of it. And then the more I'm thinking about this, the more I'm thinking that is just not high enough. So, we'll take this down and we'll see where we get with it, and then we'll take it from there. It's one of those little quick projects that I think it's turning out to be a bit of a labour of love, so we've got to be mindful of that as well. So here is the fish finder or depth sounder. This was the old plastic I had to go round here, and I've just put a new one on. So it's a little bit thicker, it's a little bit wider, and unfortunately I did the top one the wrong way round. I should have printed this mirror image, so it's got this little indent here, but it securely holds this in. We've got a nice new big screw in here, so this is really secure. And we've got better holes here, so I've made these a lot thicker, so the screws will bite a lot more, so we're not going to lose it out of there. And then there's a little hole there, and that hole is for the for a line to go through, which is what we were missing on the last one, really. So that line we will, either I'll put it around my wrist if I'm using it manually, or if we've got it on the boat somehow, I will, it's a safety line just in case this were to break or something like that. So other than giving this little sticker varnish, we're ready to go on this, aren't we?